You see what happened? That had been going on for years. They let it build up. Shannon Sharpe, y'all know, he was about to sign $1 million contract. So now they got to get out of it.
Okay, it's getting clear now. Shannon Sharpe fumbled the bag for $100 million. Yes, $100 million is what he was about to be expected. And this is how it went. And now we're kind of understanding why it seemed like he wanted to negotiate and settle with his accuser.
50 million, I go to heck yeah.
Man, this whole situation with Shannon Sharpe is spinning out of control. Now Deion Sanders is weighing in, and he's not pulling punches. He's saying something smells real fishy. Shannon just got slapped with a lawsuit by a former OnlyFans model, and she's accusing him of some pretty disturbing behavior. Allegations that, frankly, have people talking. But here's the thing. Shannon's not staying quiet, not by a long shot. He's firing back, calling the whole lawsuit nothing more than a cash grab. A setup. He's saying there are folks in his own circle who are secretly celebrating that he's in this mess. That's cold. I mean, can you imagine having called friends rooting for your downfall? But here's where it gets even more interesting. The timing. This lawsuit drops right after word gets out that Shannon is on the verge of locking down a $100 million media deal. Huge. But then boom, this lawsuit hits out of nowhere. And suddenly, that big deal. It's on pause. Just like that. Coincidence? Deion Sanders sure doesn't think so. He's been out there saying it feels way too convenient. Like someone's pulling strings behind the scenes, trying to bring Shannon down just as he's about to level up. And honestly, he might be onto something. Deion believes Shannon didn't just stumble into this mess. He was put in it. Somebody out there doesn't want to see him rise, and they're doing whatever they can to knock him off track. Now the big question everyone's asking, who's got it out for Shannon Sharpe? Right when he's on the brink of the biggest opportunity of his career. This could be one of the biggest plot twists we've seen in Shannon's public life so far. And folks are on edge, waiting to see how it plays out. Let's zoom out for a minute and look at the bigger picture. Shannon's never been a stranger to controversy. He's the kind of guy who says what's on his mind, on the field and behind the mic. From his Hall of Fame career to his sharp takes on TV, Shannon's always been one of the loudest voices in the room. And with a big voice comes a lot of noise. People in the industry have been saying for years, Shannon's fearless style has earned him hard fans and some pretty powerful enemies. When you speak your truth, no matter who's listening, you're bound to ruffle a few feathers. Some folks love him for that. Others, just waiting for him to slip up, which is exactly why this lawsuit feels so perfectly timed. Like it's the opening someone's been waiting for. Whether it's a media exec who didn't like being criticized, a rival who felt threatened, or even someone close to him with a grudge. Truth is, Shannon's never had a smooth path. And now, the pressure's higher than ever. When you're at the top, everyone's got something to say, and not all of them are rooting for you. Now there's another side to this too. Some people are saying, look, Shannon might have brought this on himself. Messing around with an OnlyFans model. That was a risky move from the jump. Even if she was planning something. They say he gave her the opportunity. So maybe it was a set-up womp. But some folks think Shannon set himself up. Still, if Deion Sanders believes Shannon's being targeted, then we're talking about a whole different level of drama here. That means someone powerful, really powerful, could be pulling strings behind the curtain to blow this whole thing up. So now everyone's wondering, what did Shannon Sharpe really do to end up in somebody's crosshairs? Did he cross the wrong person? Or is there something deeper going on that hasn't come to light yet? Because the rumors are flying and people are desperate to know what's really happening behind the scenes. Here's what we do know. That model, Gabriela Zuniga, just hit Shannon with a $50 million lawsuit. She's accusing him of some serious misconduct. Stuff that, if true, could wreck everything he's built. His reputation, his business relationships, maybe even his career. And right now, Shannon's backed into a corner trying to fight this off. And let's be honest, when you've got a name as big as Shannon Sharpe's, lawsuits like this aren't just PR headaches. They can derail everything. Deals, partnerships, trust. It's all on the line. So what happens next? That's what everyone's watching. Because whether this turns out to be a setup, a personal mistake, or something more sinister, one thing's for sure, this story is far from over.
Do they know who they hired?
Yes. What part of me? What part of me?
Why you gonna make me show out? Why you trying to make us show out? Can we act right, please?
Okay, right.
They know, so
They know.
Okay.
What you mean by that?
Because I know you,
Man.
and then it's like, well, we want you to be yourself. All right, I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be cold pride.
Who's really behind all this? Is this just one woman out for revenge? Or is there someone bigger pulling the strings? Someone who wanted to see Shannon's empire fall apart, just as he was on the verge of locking in that $100 million deal. Whatever the case may be, one thing's clear. This is way bigger than anyone imagined. And folks can't look away. Every detail is making headlines. The lawsuit hasn't even made it to court yet, but the mere accusations have already thrown Shannon's entire world into chaos. You've got to remember, Shannon Sharpe didn't just stumble into success. He built it. From his Hall of Fame NFL career to creating a media brand that made him one of the most recognizable voices in sports and entertainment. But now, all of that's on the line. Since the news broke, Shannon has already taken a step back from his regular spot on First Take with Stephen A. Smith. And that's no small move. Some say that could just be the beginning. Rumors are swirling that Shannon was just inches away from signing a podcast deal that would have changed the game. A massive $100 million deal. We're talking generational wealth. But now, that deal might be slipping through his fingers. Here's where it gets interesting. On April 18th, just 3 days before Gabriella hit him with the lawsuit, Front Office Sports reported that Shannon was expected to sign a groundbreaking podcast deal. A deal that would have made waves across the entire industry. We're talking over $100 million. One of the biggest deals podcasting has ever seen. According to the report, the deal was set to cover the full Sheehy Network lineup, shows like Club Shay Shay, Nightcap, Club 520, The Bubba Dub Show, and Humble Baddies. All shows that had Shannon's fingerprints all over them. And the offer came not long after Shannon's blockbuster interview with Cat Williams back in January 2024. That episode, it didn't just go viral, it changed the whole game. It made Club Shay Shay the go-to spot for raw, unfiltered conversations in the world of sports and celebrity. Shannon's show wasn't just popular anymore. It became essential viewing for anyone who wanted the real story, no sugarcoating. But here's where it gets messy. That Cat Williams interview might have put Shannon's show on the map, but it may have also painted a big target on his back. A lot of folks were talking after that episode. Some said it hit too hard, got too real, and that not everyone was happy about it. And maybe, just maybe, that's what triggered this whole situation. Now Shannon's looking at a $100 million payday that's slipping just out of reach. And the question everyone's asking is, who's trying to stop him from getting there? Because lately, it feels like every time he moves one step forward, something or someone is right there, ready to knock him down.
It's sharp, because guess what they're going to say? Oh, the conference isn't any good now. You notice that, Stephen A? So that's what it is. When he was getting his eyes beat out, oh, I told y'all he couldn't coach on that level. I told y'all he was false this and false that. Now they're 8-2 with an outside chance to make the college football playoff. Everybody done gone radio silent. Now they find something else to complain about. Coach Prime got them playing well. They're playing really, really well. I like where they...
Cat Williams came in like a wrecking ball. No filter, no fear, calling out half of Hollywood and dropping truth bombs that shook the industry. And let me tell you, Not everyone up top took kindly to that. Word is, some very powerful people weren't happy with what went down on that episode. And now, insiders are whispering that Shannon might have made a few high-level enemies just by handing Kat the mic. Some folks are even saying this lawsuit Shannon's facing could be part of a bigger scheme, like someone's out to derail him on purpose. It sounds wild, sure, but in this business, stranger things have happened. Bottom line, Shannon's rise might have painted a big old target on his back. And now, he's paying the price for shaking up the wrong rooms. But here's the thing, he's not standing alone. Backing him up, none other than his longtime friend, Coach Prime himself, Deion Sanders. These two go way back. They've always had each other's backs, both in public and behind closed doors. Shannon's been one of Deion's loudest supporters, especially when critics started coming for his coaching style at Colorado. Anytime the media tried twisting the narrative, Shannon was right there, calling it out. Now, looks like Deion's returning the favor. Sources close to Coach Prime say he's fully in Shannon's corner, and he's not mincing words. He believes this whole thing was planned long before the lawsuit ever saw daylight. According to him, Shannon didn't just get caught up in something. Somebody wanted him caught up. That's loyalty. The kind that's hard to find in this business. And here's where things really heat up. Stephen A. Smith. Yeah, that's Stephen A. He's now jumping on board with this theory too.
To see the great things that he has been doing and to know the potential is out there for all of this to be derailed. I'm incredibly sad for him. I'm sad for us as a show because we're better with him than without him. It's like you just, and then I see the zest with which people are willing to pounce on him. People have been after him since he did Cat Williams. You know, they've been at his neck because of the numbers he produced and the success that it had and how he was able to ride that wave.
That's right. Stephen A. Smith, the same guy who initially called out Shannon for dropping the ball over at ESPN, has now completely flipped the script. He's saying Shannon's been a target ever since that fiery interview with Cat Williams blew up the internet. And coming from Stephen A., that's saying something. This time, his tone felt different, like he's connecting the dots, like he finally sees this might not just be bad luck, but a setup. And when a guy like Stephen A. changes his tune, you pay attention. But wait, it doesn't stop there. Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, just jumped into the conversation too. And what he's saying? It's raising eyebrows. Gene's pointing out that the timing of this lawsuit feels real suspect, like it's not just a coincidence. According to him, there's more going on behind the scenes than most people realize.
See what happened? That had been going on for years. They let it build up. Shannon Sharpe, y'all know, he was about to sign $1 million contract. So now they got to get out of it because they know what's about to happen. The only way they can stop this contract and stop this thing from happening is put this dirt out. It's time to drop it because they know if this ninja get $100 million in his pocket, it's going to be some real problems. Some real problems.
Especially since all this dropped right when Shannon was on the verge of locking in that $100 million deal. I mean, the timing couldn't be more suspicious. That's a bold accusation, and folks are definitely paying attention. But let's be real, not everybody's buying this setup narrative. A lot of people online are pushing back, saying this whole, "they're out to get me" thing sounds more like a convenient excuse than the truth. They're saying Shannon's trying to play the victim instead of taking responsibility for his own decisions. And it doesn't end there. Some folks are even coming after Deion Sanders, saying maybe he ought to sit this one out, especially considering his own controversial history. When it comes to women, the question being thrown around is, how's Deion gonna defend Shannon when he's got his own skeletons in the closet? Now everybody's picking sides. It's turned into a full-blown media circus. One thing's for sure, this story isn't going away anytime soon. Every day there's a new headline, a new twist, and fans are watching closely, trying to figure out who's keeping it real and who's just fanning the flames. Look, Shannon Sharpe ain't new to this. The man's been in the game for decades. He's pushing 60, and he knows how the business works. He's no stranger to the spotlight. He's been riding high for a long time. That's exactly why some folks are saying, you can't cry foul about being set up when you're the one walking into the fire. And then there's that phone call. You know, the one where Shannon said he was gonna handle things himself. Yeah, that hit a nerve. People are still talking about it.
Anything I say, you're just gonna get mad at, and you're just gonna hang up on me, so I feel like...
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
What does that even mean?
Nothing, Gabby. You want to be a dick to me now, so.
I don't want to be... Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm gonna choke out of you when I see you.
That right there. That was the moment it felt like Shannon crossed a line he couldn't come back from. Sure, maybe she pushed his buttons, but let's be honest. No one forced him to say what he said. Those words came out of his mouth. And that kind of stuff? It sticks with people. You can't just take it back like it never happened. And you gotta ask, what was he thinking? She's literally saying, anything I say, you're just gonna get mad and hang up on me. And Shannon's sitting there all defensive. Then she throws out, don't manipulate me. And he fires back with, I don't want to get aggressive. Man, that exchange had people shaking their heads. It didn't sit right. It just didn't. And don't even get me started on those text messages. Some fans are bringing up the roleplay stuff, and yeah, it's messy. Real messy. Especially with the racial overtones some folks are pointing out. That's the part that's really got the internet buzzing.
Okay, it's getting clear now. Shannon Sharpe fumbled the bag for $100 million. Yes, $100 million is what he was about to be expected. And this is how it went. And now we're kind of understanding why it seemed like he wanted to negotiate and settle with his accuser for $10 million.
Let's be honest. That didn't sound like something Gabriella just came up with out of nowhere. That didn't feel like it started with her. So now, fans are stepping back and looking at this whole situation, saying, hold on, we're not about to throw Shannon a sympathy party here. Yeah, maybe there were some powerful folks behind the scenes who didn't want to see him rise. Maybe that $100 million deal was just too much for some people to stomach. But still, that doesn't mean he's off the hook.
And for those that don't know, Shannon Sharpe is being accused of having unwanted sex. And we all know when that happens, like, the media is under frenzy right now. But here's the part where he dropped the bag. He was about to get $100 million. So we know how his podcast, Shay Shay, had been taken off. He literally just finished his contract as he was signed to Colin Cohard's podcasting group.
Look, maybe there were people plotting against Shannon from the jump. But let's be honest, he didn't exactly make it hard. At that level of success, you've got to be sharp. You can't be out here handing folks the rope to hang you with. Yeah, Deion Sanders is still standing by him, and some fans are rooting for Shannon to bounce back. But most people, they're saying what everyone's been thinking: Shannon let this whole situation spiral. He's the one who opened the door, and now he's stuck cleaning up the mess. Bottom line, Shannon walked straight into the storm on his own. But here's where I turn it to you. Do you really think this was some kind of setup? Was there someone behind the scenes pulling strings, sending that OnlyFans model in to take Shannon down right as he was closing in on that $100 million deal? That's a serious payday to lose overnight. Even if it was a setup, does it really change anything? I mean, Shannon's been in the spotlight for decades. He knows how the game works. He's got the experience, the network, and the know-how. So how did he end up here? Is he the one to blame for putting himself in the wrong place at the wrong time? Did he let the wrong people get too close? Now, folks are split. Some say he's just a big-name target, taken down by people who didn't want to see him win. Others say he's been living too fast, playing it reckless, and ignoring the warning signs. But here's the real question when you're sitting at the top. Is it even possible to tell who's real and who's just trying to get close? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Was Shannon set up, or did he just make a massive mistake? And what about that 100 million deal? Can he still recover? Or is this the final chapter for him in this game? If you're feeling this breakdown, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear this. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe and turn on those notifications. We're gonna keep digging into this story. No filter, no fluff, bringing you every twist, turn, and unexpected headline. This one's heating up, folks, and you're not gonna want to miss a thing. Stay tuned, and I'll catch you in the next video.